Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look in a Soulforge and tell you what I think is good and bad in there. Right, let's take a look at this weekly Glory Troop first, the Maze Guardian. Before I do that, what's red and smells like blue paint? Red paint. Do you see? Anyway, let's take a look at Maze Guardian. It looks like that face is doing there. If you wear contact lenses, and before these all-in-one solutions came out, you had to put them in a cleaner first, and then you had to disinfect them the next day for at least in a sort of neutralizer for 10 minutes before putting them in your eyes. And if you forgot to do that neutralizing stage, his face there with your eyes on fire like that is what happened if you forgot to do the neutralizing stage. You only ever done that once because it just literally melts your eyeballs. Anyway, that is a different thing altogether. Let me know in the comments if anybody's done that, because I certainly know I did once, and you'd never ever do it again, trust me. But now you get all-in-one contact lens solutions that does it all at the same time, so it's good. Anyway, I'm not talking about contact lenses, talking about Maze Guardian. What do you do, mate? Creates 5 brown gems and either gains magic +1 armor, or create 2 stone blocks, or stun the first 2 enemies, or explode the board. Traits: allied Taurus gain 2 life, become enraged when an enemy dies, reduce damage from skulls by 50%. Okay, so not too shabby in first place with that reduction of damage from skulls. But that spell is absolutely mediocre for me. First of all, creative 5 gems is in that bracket of a low amount of gems that basically it's got a very small chance of working for you, and basically got more chance of setting up the opposition. Does then either gain magic +1 armor, or create 2 stone blocks, or stun the first 2, or explode the board. Explode the board is probably the best thing that can happen, but you just don't know what's going to happen with that. And gaining armor is okay, but it's not particularly great either. Or create 2 stone blocks is like, why? That's not that great. Stun the first 2 enemies, you can get better things of that from traits. Oh, yeah, rubbish. 3 out of 10 for you, matey boy. I'm not rating you at all. Bah, never mind. Get it anyway, because it is another troop to add to your roster, which is important. And get up to Mythic level if you have enough glory and you can spare it. I will get up to Mythic because I have excess glory. And yeah, we'll power it up later. Right, onto the Soulforge itself. Right, let's take a look at the weapons first. And the same as always, all the weapons that are here all the time will be in my Soulforge extra video, which I'll put a link to in the description below, with the exception of Wand of Stars, but we'll go over that episode briefly. We have Rage Reaver. Really cool weapon this. Deal magic-based splash damage to an enemy. Create 4 red gems boosted by Tauros allies. So put a bunch of Tauros allies in your team who are going to create a massive amount of red gems and charge up the team. It doesn't use red itself, but make sure you've got red Tauros allies in your team, like 3 times Ferocity, and this is a absolutely awesome team. Ferocity uses red, does huge damage. You create loads of red, charge it up. Ferocity also adds +4 to all skills on Tauros allies when matching red gems, and you've got an awesome team there absolutely straight away, which just gets wildly powerful really quickly. Rage Reaver, absolutely essential weapon to get today. Fantastic stuff. Primal Axe does magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Wild Plains allies. Then create a mix of 6 green and red gems for each Wild Plains ally. Uses yellow and brown, creates green and red. So make sure at least a couple of those other allies use green and red to benefit from all that mana, because it's they can be really good, these weapons. They can fail sometimes. I do prefer the explodey weapons, because that is guaranteed mana, where these you can cast sometimes and still get nothing. It does surprise you when it happens, but it does happen. But yeah, still decent. Doomed Maul does magic-based heavy splash damage to an enemy with a +4 per tempering level boost. Stun all red enemies, cleanse all red allies, explode 4 gems, and if the enemy has a doom, explode 3 more. So a lot going on with that, at their best when they're fully tempered. And the stun obviously depends upon who you're fighting, whether that is particularly useful or not. And the cleanse is, again, beneficial depending upon who you're fighting. So quite situational, but very handy in the right situation. Staff of the Wild. Kind of the anti-Wild Plains weapon, this one. Remove all brown gems, then deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by gems removed. If the enemy is from Wild Plains, or if the battle is in Wild Plains, deal a double damage. So in that situation, again, pretty effective, and only 9 mana cost means you get to cast it usually pretty quickly. Horn Cleaver does magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Tauros allies. Then create a mix of 6 green and brown gems for each Tauros allies. So very similar to that other weapon, but this one uses blue and red and creates green and brown. But the same rules apply. Make sure you've got at least a couple of troops in your team that use green and brown and are Tauros to benefit from all that extra mana. And we have Wild Cleaver. I do like these weapons. I'll call them the explodey summony weapons. Explodes and magic +1 green gems that generates tons of mana most of the time. Gives a random status effect to all Wild Plains allies. That is not to be underrated. That can be really effective, that part of the spell. And have a summon as well. Really, really cool. Do like those weapons. Wand of Stars. That is not in my Soulforge extra video because it was released after I made that video. But really, really cool weapon. Choose one. Create 6 elemental stars. Bless all allies. Bless is like a super cleanse. Or create 7 umbral stars and curse all enemies. Absolutely amazing weapon. If you've got the resources, absolutely go grab it. And we have, what else have we got? And we have Doomed Spade. Don't get it from here. It is the Tower of Doom event weapon. It's quite costly as well. 800 diamonds is quite a bit. A bunch of souls and some orangey things, they garnets, and 8 celestials. Get it from the Tower of Doom event. 500 gems, it's all it's going to cost you to get to tier 4, I think it is. But yeah, pretty good weapon this. Deal magic-based damage to the first 2 enemies, +2 per tempering level. Then create 2 brown gems for each brown ally and enemy. If the enemy has a doom, gain a random status effect. So this is actually going to be very, very useful for the Tower of Doom event today. Right, so get that from the event, not from here. And definitely pick up Rage Reaver. Fantastic stuff. There it is. Go get that. Right, troops. If you're a newer player, definitely look in these summoning stones, see if there's anybody in there you are missing. And if there is any missing troops at all, then yeah, have a little roll of the dice and see if you pick anybody up. Nothing particularly outstanding so far. Ooh, skeletons, pretty good. Create 7 skulls, gain magic +2 armor, gain an extra turn. If those skulls fail to align, you can have another turn to make something happen. Yeah, so there's a few decent ones there, but just anybody you're missing, it's just important to collect troops as you go along in this game and just grab anybody that you're missing. Right, let's take a look at the mythics. We have Ubastet. Loved Ubastet. Ubastet, when he first came out, was the first absolute mega powerhouse troop that made you go, oh my god, that is just absolutely insane. Deals magic +2 damage to the 2 weakest enemies, boosted by all ally and enemy attack. And if one of the enemy dies, then kill the other one. In a few years ago, that was absolutely nuts. It's still very, very good now. He's not quite the powerhouse he used to be due to the power creep in the game and other troops coming along, but it's still a fantastic spell. All you got to do is soften one troop up to get them in range, cast Ubastet on them, and you are guaranteed 2 kills. The only downside to him, I suppose, is a bit of a one-cast wonder for some teams, for some people, because obviously as you've killed 2 enemies, the attack has gone down, so the boost is not as much as it was before, so it's harder to get that second kill and, yeah, wipe the whole team out by himself, basically. But, yeah, absolutely fantastic troop still love Ubastet. Doomclaw. Good or bad, depending upon how lucky you are. Does damage to an enemy boosted by enraged allies with separate 25% chances to devour the next enemy above and below. Now what's cool about that is they don't have to be directly above and below. For example, if you've killed the 2nd and 3rd troops down, you can still cast this on the top troop or the 2nd troop, and that still counts as that devour chance of getting the above or below. So very good when you get lucky, but it can be a bit annoying when you cast him multiple times and nothing happens apart from that small amount of damage. But when it works, it's a really effective spell. You can get 2 devours at once with him. Very good indeed when you get lucky. Otherwise, not so good. Depends upon your luck. Euryali works really well with Scorpius. She does true damage to all enemies, which is good for a start. Boosted by Naga and undead allies, and summons a bone Naga. So true damage with a summon is very good. And poisons all enemies on 4 or 5 gem matches, which is why she works so well with Scorpius, because Scorpius just kills enemies that are poisoned. So very good pairing with her. Very nice indeed. Famine, like this troop as well. I know people that don't actually like this one very much, but I think it's really effective when used in the right team. Drain mana from all enemies. Then deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by mana drained. If you time that correctly, you can one-shot opponents with a lot of health really, really quickly. And drain all mana from all enemies at the same time. Now, the whole point of this game, obviously, is to collect mana. And then you collect mana to cast your spells. And if you're someone like this that drains mana from all enemies, then you've kind of made the enemy team waste all them turns. However many turns it took them to get powered up, get going, it's effectively making them lose all them turns while doing enormous one-shot damage at the same time. An aspect of Famine, not too bad. First enemy loses 3 skill points at the start of each turn. So Famine, yeah, not too bad. So, okay, bunch of mythics in here today. Not too bad at all. But what we got in the way of legendaries. Don't usually say to craft legendaries. You get them much easier from chests, unless there's somebody absolutely exceptional. Web Spinner is in the borderline exceptional category, like the exceptional category I class as troops like Tesla. If Tesla comes along, you haven't got her yet. She's legendary, but you absolutely get her. Same as Yao Guai. Web Spinner is very close to that essential category. Does damage to all enemies. Poisons them, then creates 9 green gems. Uses green itself, so can loop on herself. But the thing about Web Spinner is that awesome set of traits. Inflict web when doing skull damage. Deal triple skull damage to poisoned and webbed enemies. So triple skull damage for most opponents when you got those 3 traits makes her super powerful in first place. So really, really cool. Web Spinner. Love that troop. Celestasia. Create 9 gems of a chosen ally's mana color, cleanse and give magic +2 life to them. Okay-ish spell. And Celestial Shield is the best of the traits. Gain a barrier on 4 or 5 gem matches. And we have 2 others. The Ghost Queen. Very, very, very good as well. All undead allies start with 50% mana, which is good on its own. But the spell is excellent too. Steal 7 mana from an enemy, then steal magic +3 life boosted by purple gems. So that is the same as true damage at the same time. Really cool. She's a superb troop. And last one, we have Queen Ash. Does magic based heavy splash damage to the second last enemy boosted by brown gems and allies. Pull them to the front, then create 3 elemental stars. So can get a lot of mana back from that at the same time. But Blessing of Rock, really cool trait as well. Give 2 magic to all elemental allies when matching brown gems. And also reduce damage from skulls by 50% is not bad either. And also create a brown gem when my turn begins. But who gets my super coveted? Maybe. Probably not. Mythic of the Week. I don't know why I went all the way up there for. Well, it's a couple of good ones here. Doomclaw is mostly based on luck. Famine is decent, but not outstanding. Euryali is really good, but still for me, the Mythic of the Week is going to be the awesome Ubastet. When used correctly, can be utterly, utterly devastating. So Ubastet gets my Mythic of the Week. I'll be back later with my Tower of Doom team and the Underspire team and things like that. It's Manic Monday. It's all going on a Monday. But there it is. There's a video. If you enjoyed it, found it useful or helpful, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching. And I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.